Yorigal Kivano Kujvaj. Yo, start. It is the start of another day. It's about 5:15. Hmm. Boy, that is good. It's about 5:15 in the morning, and I see the lights on, which would mean that Ken is awake. And boy, I gotta tell you, they don't make him nicer than this guy. They just don't. I mean, he's just he's an all around nice guy. And we went out to dinner last night. Mm, boy, I love that coffee. We went out to dinner last night, kind of as a last as sharing a last meal together. I've been here 4 nights: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I've been here 4 nights. I could probably just as easily stay here another two if I wanted to. But it's time to move on, and I got a long drive ahead of me today. Got a long drive. I'm going to be driving probably the better part of about 8 or 9 hours today, and I'm going to be staying on a tentatively. That's your 50-cent word for the day. Tentatively, I'm going to be staying on a farm in Bellevue, Idaho. Bellevue. I'll be staying on a farm in Bellevue, Idaho tonight, and little farm, and I found it on Harvest Host. So we will see, as the saying goes. It's only 20 miles from my ultimate destination, which is Ketchum, Idaho. And I've been wanting to go back to Sun Valley. Sun Valley it's a pretty special place. A lot of these places that I travel are special. This place being Gardnerville, no exception. I mean, I didn't. This is probably one of the biggest surprises of my trip. Gardnerville. It's a very, very nice area. There's there's a lot about it. It's the weather. It's well, California. The California border is just probably a mile away or something, but the weather is just beautiful. Gets a little warm, and we did get a little rain, but the weather is just beautiful. Politically, it's very conservative. Very good people. The scenery is just breathtaking with all the cattle and the horse property. Um, hmm, but anyway, Ketchum is, as I recall, Ketchum, Idaho is quite beautiful as well. And I'm gonna go up there and just kind of I'll find a place today or tomorrow. If I don't stay on the farm and I go all the way up to Ketchum, I'll stay. I'll find a place to stay for about a week up there in Idaho, 5 nights or something like that. I need to be productive with work. I've got to stay productive with work, but but and then try to find my way back to east. We're already coming into the first week of August. I think August 1st is on Thursday, and I want to be over on the East Coast. Uh, toward the I'd like to be over on the far East Coast sometime, God willing, of course. I'd like to be over on the East Coast by September, early September. So which gives me about a month to saunter my way across the country. And yesterday, Ken and I were having a having a conversation about life, and I don't know how much of a spiritual man he is. He goes to church, and I believe he's always done so. But we didn't delve too deep into each other's faith or spiritual beliefs. But we were talking yesterday. We were talking We were talking yesterday about how as you get older, it's harder to find that special person. It's harder to find somebody because as you get older, you're more set in your ways and you got all these different things and what have you. And it's just harder to find somebody special as you age. And the conversation somehow turned the conversation turned to a conversation I had with somebody years ago. And I was in years ago when I was about 29 and I first found God. When I first found God, I took it upon myself. And for those of you that have heard this story before, forgive me. But uh, when I first found God, I was about 29 years old and I had been living away from my family and home for the better part of 10 years. I had left after high school and what have you. And I found God and I decided to go back and reconnect with my family. I decided to go back and reconnect with my family. And I drove across America in a little red car and I took some shoe polish and wrote on the back of the windshield of the car, "Across America with a smile." And I wanted to see what a smile would get me because my dad had loaned me a little bit of money to get from California to Ohio. But I wanted to stretch the trip out and make a 5-day trip, a 3-week adventure, and see what a smile would get me. And it got me quite a bit. That smile, this smile of mine got me quite a bit. And the trip, the 5-day trip was stretched into a 3-week trip, and I got home. And when I got home, I, uh, for all intent and purpose, I was rejected by the majority of my family. I was, I was rejected pretty bad. And the only solace that I found during that summer, I went back, and the only solace that I really found that summer was going up to the YMCA. I would go to the YMCA every day in a city called Willoughby or Willoughby Hills or something, Willoughby. I go up to the YMCA every day, and that's where I would find, companionship and friendship and what have you. And I'll never forget one day I was in the locker room, and I would go there. I almost lived there. I mean, when I wasn't working on my dad's house, that's what I was doing. I was remodeling my dad's house, top to bottom. I spent all summer remodeling my dad's house, all the while hearing my dad or my family tell me that I was stealing from my dad and all that kind of crap. But anyway, I was in the YMCA and I made a lot of friends. And I'll never forget this one conversation that I had as I was standing there at the locker getting changed. And this older gentleman looked at me and he said, "You know what I appreciate about you, Tom?" And I said, "No, Harry, what is it that you appreciate about me?" He goes, "The way you're going through life." And I said, "What do you mean the way I'm going through life?" And he said, "You're flying by the instruments. That's how you're going through your life. You're flying through the by you're flying by the instruments." And I asked him to elaborate about that, and he said it's an aviation term. It's an aviation term that that correlates with pilots when they're flying a plane and they're going through stormy weather. They're just relying on the instruments. They can't see what's in front of them, and they're just relying on the instruments to get them through. And the connection that he was trying to make was that it was my faith. I was relying on my faith. I was going through a stormy period in my life, and I was flying by the instruments. I was relying on my faith to take me through through the storm. And and that's kind of that's what Ken and I were talking about yesterday. We were talking about, how oftentimes people they go through their life and they want to control, they want control of their life. And it's very hard to just let go, to let go and ultimately let God, or let your faith steer the course, so to speak. And anyway, it's just it was an interesting conversation that he and I had yesterday. And you go through life and you make your decisions. Like, for example, I can make a decision today when I'm driving down Highway 80 to turn off Highway 80 and go north and go to Ketchum, or I can make a decision to go straight and go to Salt Lake City. All day long, you can make decisions like that, and you have control over certain aspects of your life. But ultimately, you don't have control. Ultimately, you don't have control over your life. And the quicker you realize that, I think the quicker you realize that, the further you're going to get in life. The further you'll get in life, the quicker you realize that you don't ultimately have control over your life and your destiny. But anyway, I'm trying to articulate a point, but I'm not I'm not quite able to do it. It's early. It's quite early, and I need to get on with my day. But the refrigerator's not working. We gave it the old college try, and we installed the fans, and it's just not working. And this is the second trip that I've taken. I've had this camper, 2 summers now, and both summers the refrigerator went out. And all in all, it's a pretty good camper. All in all, it's a nice camper. But like I was telling Ken yesterday, my next summer is going to be spent in Europe. I'm going to spend next summer in Europe, and so I won't be camping. And for all intent and purpose, I'm going to take this back to the factory in Pennsylvania. I'm going to have them fix anything that's wrong with it, and then I'm going to sell it. I'll just sell the camper, and my camper days are my camper days are over. But anyway, so that's about that. And what else? Oh, so the other thought that I had was that I was driving down. Wait, Ken and I were walking down the street, and I was telling him, I found myself remembering that he's the third wonderful, wonderful man that I've met on this trip. And remember the gentleman that I met that was the Vietnam pilot? I can't remember his name. I'm just getting old. I'm having a senior moment, but can't remember his name. But he was the gentleman that I stayed with, and it was on Father's Day, as a matter of fact, the pilot. And we went driving through the penitentiary, and the old fighter jet. I did the interview with him. Remember him? And then there was Robert. I stayed with Robert in Fresno, and now I stayed with Ken. And as I've always said, it's not it more than the places you go, more than the things you do. It's the people that you meet. It's the people you meet, and the friendships. It's the friendships that you develop along the way that are the most important and that are the most rewarding. But anyway, with all that being said, I need to get on with my day. And in doing so, I think I can show you the beautiful scene that's unfolding out here. Let's see. So this is the view waking up. Isn't that nice? And Ken's got the lights on for me. I can see. morning is the most special part of the day, without question. The morning is absolutely my favorite part of the day. Isn't that beautiful? Boy, he's fortunate to wake up to this every day. Just the two of them, just the two. And this is look at what they achieved. Really something else. And come out and show you the view. Ken wakes up early in the morning to open the windows and cool the house. Oh, and look who it is. Here he comes. Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Good. I'm just showing everybody your $1 million view. I'm curious to know something.
Yes.
Okay. How does it feel waking up now knowing that you're a YouTube celebrity? Huh?
I'm not sure what that implies.
You're a star. You know? A star, the movie, you've heard of the movie A Star is Born?
Star is Born.
What the hell you doing drinking so early in the morning? Huh?
Lemonade, is that okay?
Oh, lemonade. Okay, it's not okay. It's just lemonade. All right. I was worried there for a moment. I thought, uh-oh, it's 5 in the morning and you're drinking already.
Yeah.
You know, but
Did you catch the glow of the sunrise across the?
I was just sharing that view with people. What a beautiful, beautiful view, isn't it? Boy, it's been a pleasure staying with you.
Very good.
You know, you've made this boondocker feel very, very welcome.
Well, that's great.
So you've got another boondocker coming in this week?
Yeah, I think on Wednesday.
Very good.
That'll be good.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me stay here.
Oh, you're very, very welcome.
You're a kind man.
Thank you very much.
So, all right, folks. Have a great day. All right. Take good care as I turn this camera back around. Have a fantastic day.